sometimes you're just trying to get through the day. Cancer presents thousands of everyday challenges for you and everyone who loves you. Which everyday cancer problem can be fixed today? How can we fill the gaps in care that make cancer even harder than it has to be? At Livestrong, these questions are what we've always been about. We listen. We explore. We solve. And we fight. But we can't just beat up cancer. We have to outsmart it. The legacy we built is strong. Our community is even stronger. Our collaborations make a difference every day in Austin, Texas, and around the nation. We find and fund disruptive, energetic, and breakthrough cancer solutions. At Livestrong, we listen to people who are dealing with cancer every day to find the most overlooked problems in cancer care. The problems that simply don't deserve to exist. And then we fix those problems for good. Which everyday cancer problem will we fix today?
Wow, that was impactful. Earlier this week, I had a chance to chat with the president and CEO of Livestrong, Greg Lee. Let's watch that clip with Greg now. So, for people who might wonder, what is Livestrong? Who is Livestrong? Can you explain the entity of Livestrong for me?
I sure can. There are some 35,000 public charities around the country that declare cancer as their topic, as their issue. But the vast majority of those focus on the cure, focus on the disease. And we appreciate that. There's billions and billions of dollars spent on the disease and a cure every year, and that's necessary. But we also feel like that there is a lot of time, energy, and money that is required and should be spent on the person with the disease. And that's where Livestrong kicks in, because we're all about the human element, all about the person who has the disease, the emotions they're feeling, and the guidance and the support they need throughout the process that has nothing to do with the biology and the chemistry and the science, which, quite frankly, other talented, smart people are working on. But we're here to help the human side, really help the person with the disease, not focus on the cure or the disease itself. So when this COVID crisis ends, it's not going to stop for the cancer patient. The other things that are happening to a cancer patient right now are wondering, well, what happens to my treatment? Is my treatment continue? Is it safe for me to get out? If my cancer treatment has to be postponed or delayed, is that going to impact my life or my quality of life or other things like that? And so the only way that support continues to happen is if the funding streams continue to happen. And so we're working diligently day and night to make sure that we have the fuel and the resources to continue to be there every day, not just to help the cancer survivor and the patient currently, but to continue to discover and identify those new solutions that will help address the everyday cancer problems that patients and their families face. With the Livestrong Challenge literally going on as we speak right now, where we have thousands of bike riders around the country and quite frankly around the world pedaling to support Livestrong and our efforts. One of the other really important joys that I get out of this is over the years being at that finish line and seeing that cancer patient, that cancer survivor who said, you know what, I've got to do something hard. I've got to do something courageous. And so I'm going to sign up to ride 40 or 50 or 100 miles. And I don't know if I can do it or not. But to be on the other side of that finish line and see them come across and the joy in their face, knowing that I did it, I was able to do it, I was able to fight and accomplish something that I never thought was possible. is another joy that we really get out of this. And I know I get a lot of personal satisfaction out of that. And especially today, as all these riders are out there crossing the finish line in their own hometowns and their own way as they run, walk, ride, swim, etc.
It seems like, Greg, it completes the circle, right? We all want to be healthy. One of the best ways to at least try to hold off cancer is getting fit and eating well, and also mental health, being with friends. And if we can't do it in person, let's make sure we do it in things like a virtual Livestrong challenge. Talk to me about exactly that, how your donation translates into these positive actions happening, whether it's people getting resources, information, or just plain old support.
Totally correct. 82 cents out of every dollar raised goes directly to support our services to patients and the solution grants that are implementing modern day techniques to kind of help battle cancer in a variety of different ways. But you are exactly right. There is an entire circle, whether it's diagnosis, survivorship, research, that we are trying to help fund. In our case, the three circles behind me, and I have to kind of get my pointing finger the right way here on camera, it represents kind of the yellow is our survivorship programs. The orange circle represents our collaboration literally with partners around the country. And then kind of the blue tint is our effort in innovation and solutions. And again, we have a network of partnerships where we've made more than 580 investments to people over the period of time. Another point that you hit on, though, is that survivorship in Livestrong is not just about the science. It's also about health and nutrition and emotional support. It's that complete holistic approach to medicine and to getting through something together. And part of that is the science and the medicine. But another part is literally having your body be in the right state of mind, physically and emotionally, to be able to fight. And that's a very, very important part of that entire holistic circle of health.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Greg. This has been informative, inspiring, and I hope everyone out there riding their bike feels a tailwind today, because you're giving me one. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. We really appreciate the opportunity to be in front of the general public. To all those cyclists, runners, walkers, swimmers today, thank you very much for all of your continued support of everything that we do. Without your support and your efforts, we're not able to continue to provide the services that we do to the cancer community. So ride hard, run hard, enjoy your day, and thanks again for supporting Livestrong.
I rarely leave the house. I don't like going into the grocery store. But when I do, it's terrifying. Sometimes I realize I'm holding my breath underneath my mask. When I go outside to exercise, I walk down the middle of the street to avoid other people. I'm afraid of delivery drivers. And food containers. I try to see my doctors online, but sometimes I have to be driven to treatments. Treatment should save my life, but leaving my house scares me. I have cancer.
What if your quarantine didn't end? For some cancer patients, it won't. 15 million people in the United States are living with cancer right now.
Remember, those of us left in quarantine. Donate today so we can get the help we need safely.
That's interesting information. I had a chance to talk to Dr. Matsui earlier this week during his busy schedule about the way COVID has affected the way he practices medicine. Let's hear from Dr. Matsui. Doctor, I know we find you in Austin, but what we're talking about is obviously a global situation. Let's just jump right in. What's happening with COVID obviously impacts the people that you offer care to in a significant way. Can you give us an update on what we need to know?
Yeah, I think that it is, obviously for a lot of patients who are receiving care, it is a scary time because COVID is an infection, and a lot of the patients who get chemotherapy are already susceptible to certain infections. And so I think that people are trying to be extra careful, but it's hard to be extra careful because being extra careful means not seeing anybody else. And so I
Right.
think that that's pretty tough on people. I think that in terms of how we approach patients, I think that in general, across the world, I think that there are less cancers being diagnosed. And I think that that will probably catch up with us at some point. But I think in general, um, people are seeking less care. They're afraid, concerned of going to the doctors. And I think that that may just delay some things. I think that in terms of my practice specifically, I would say that it's important to me to try to provide good care, but you have to do it in different ways now. So one would be is that just like we're talking today, a lot of my patients and I see each other online rather than seeing each other in person. And I think that the other is that I think that a lot of forms of chemotherapy can be given by vein or by a shot, and others can be given by a pill. So obviously, if you don't need to go somewhere and get an infusion or a shot, and you just take pills at home, that's probably safer from a COVID exposure perspective. And so I think we're learning a lot about sort of being flexible about things and trying to do the best with the situation you have. And I think that it's not all been bad. I think that being able to see patients online really, I think, allows, for some people, I think it allows them to do medical care on the patient side much more conveniently. So you don't have to drive in, you don't have to park, you don't have to wait in a waiting room. So I think with COVID, it's not all been bad, right? It's a tragic situation. It's hard to be in the situation where we really don't have any idea what to do, largely. But I think that it's made some changes for the better, and one would be being able to connect with patients online. And that allows, I think, them to have easier access to a physician and to medical care. So instead of having to travel from, you know, wherever in Texas here, it may be easier to do it online. And so I can see patients maybe a little more frequently. It doesn't 100% for sure replace seeing a patient in person, but I think that it hopefully is a little bit easier on patients because I know it is not the most convenient thing to see a doctor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mastui. On behalf of everyone at Livestrong, I just want to say we really appreciate you.
Thank you. It's been great. Thanks a lot.
What if the trauma of death was part of your daily life? For some, it is. When our heroes need help, Livestrong is there. Healthcare workers perform the most emotionally difficult work. They need our support. Help us heal the healers. The funds raised from this event over the past 24 years have allowed Livestrong to improve the lives of millions of cancer survivors around the world. The impact of your support enables Livestrong to provide 350,000 people with cancer support every year. We have invested over $590 million in programs and cancer support services that have benefited 9.2
2 million people since 1997. Now, more than ever, Livestrong needs your continued support. The funds you raise will play a critical role as Livestrong develops innovative solutions to solve the everyday cancer problems faced by survivors. These problems shouldn't exist, but they do. Maybe it's paying mounting bills, finding ways to get your strength back after treatment, or finding ways for your child to still learn while they're going through treatment. People often ask, how can I help? Well, this is it. The Livestrong Virtual Challenge is your opportunity to participate in an inspiring, one-of-a-kind event that directly impacts the care that cancer survivors receive. Now, let's look at the history, evolution, and impact of Livestrong.
I went to the doctor. They found that I had a cyst and my blood work came back abnormal. I had 2 tumors. They were surrounding my ovaries. By the time they caught it, I was already stage 3.
How in the world am I going to pay for this?
Yo no imaginaba que me iba a tocar tan joven.
The need for expert support is absolutely critical through treatment and beyond.
Livestrong provides services and tools to cancer survivors from the minute they're diagnosed throughout their cancer journey. The ideas for our mission and our programs literally come from cancer survivors themselves.
Livestrong decided to create Livestrong at School to help students understand the impact that cancer has on individuals.
How many of you have had family members that have had cancer?
I thought that becoming a mom wasn't going to be a possibility anymore. We worked with the navigator to help pay for the medications and services for freezing embryos.
The YMCA and Livestrong wanted to be able to provide physical activity for cancer survivors.
It's led by professional trainers who have a cancer certification, and it's provided free of cost. Livestrong has really been there for me.
The traditional approach had been to spend money on research, and that's a great thing to do. But it ignored many of the other needs of cancer survivors. The psychosocial needs, their financial needs, their personal and their family needs, the impact that it has on people.
When you look at an organization like Livestrong, you realize that people are inspired and empowered by the belief that people can not only recover from cancer, but also go on to lead amazing and productive lives.
People wanted to run, walk, ride, whatever they could do to support this movement.
I'm running in remembrance of my cousin. I lost my brother in April, and I just want to get his fight out there.
Because we're really bringing people together that truly care and truly want to make a difference.
This organization is about people, and the Livestrong Cancer Institutes will enable us to be at the outset of a new medical school that's going to focus on treating the patient.
Livestrong provides such fantastic patient support. I remember being like, wow, like they thought of everything.
To help you realize I'm not alone with this terrible disease.
Livestrong absolutely helped me get on the right track to getting my life back.
There are a few times in our lives when we get to have true sense of purpose. We get to feel like we're really adding something to our families, to our societies, and to the world at large. And what I realized is Livestrong gave me that.
Donations are more crucial this year than ever, but that doesn't mean your efforts go unrecognized. There is still plenty of time to earn exclusive Livestrong Challenge incentives, and the levels start at just $50. Sign up at livestrongchallenge.org and start fundraising today. To be eligible for these incentives, Here's a good look at some giving options. You can text Livestrong to 24365 to donate. Our website, as always, is livestrongchallenge.org, or you can see the QR code right there on the screen. It takes a village to make this event successful, and a large part of that success is owed to everyone who has fundraised for the event this year. And we want to recognize and say a special thank you to our current top fundraising teams and individuals. I'll start with our top 5 teams. And it was Team Kermit that deserves a big pat on the back. It's 5th place. 4th was the Dell Medical School with $18,758. Team Mowgli with $19,000 has them as our number 3 team. The General's Guard, look at that, $28,278. And that leaves the top spot for the mighty CCC, the Cyclists Combating Cancer, with $45,905. Cyclists Combating Cancer was founded over 20 years ago and has been a top fundraising team at the challenge for numerous years. So we want to give them a special shout out. Great job as always, Team CCC. You all are awesome. So let's take a look at our top 5 individual fundraisers here as well. I'm going to start with Michael Martin with $9,136. Thank you, Michael. Les Benzie with $9,418. Les, we really appreciate your efforts out there. Gabby Dougherty with $10,079. In the second spot is Scott Joy with $11,161. And as he sits right around $500,000 raised over the years, absolutely incredible effort out there from our number 1 fundraiser. That is John Owens. Congratulations, John. We really appreciate you. $23,274 raised in honor of his brother Jim and all the cancer survivors out there. So this event would not be what it is without all of our teams, participants, or sponsors. And we wish you a safe and exciting day out there. And we're grateful for your support as well. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, including Athletic Brewing Co., the exclusive non-alcoholic beer sponsor of the Livestrong Challenge. Higginbotham, we really appreciate their efforts, along with First Trust. Really happy to have the Bomarito Group involved again this year. And Pioneer Bank, we sure do appreciate you as well. And of course, our Livestrong Board of Directors. We get in-kind support from Milestorm, Koros, Noon, and Tiny House Coffee Roasters. So, it's about that time as we get close to the start of today's ride. I'd ask you please to remove your hats, caps, and helmets wherever you are as we get ready for the national anthem of the United States of America. And today we're honored to have it performed by Livestrong board member Scott Joy.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Now I'm joined by my colleague, Nathan Guerra. Nathan's over in Wisconsin and is our expert on all things Zwift. Good to see you this morning, Nathan. So I hear we're riding on the French Caspat route. This is one of the new worlds in Zwift. But hey, Nathan, could you bring everybody up to speed if they're not already familiar with what Zwift is all about?
Yeah, so welcome everybody. Livestrong Challenge. This is pretty awesome to have this virtual ride going on. I'm really excited about it. I'm Nathan Guerra. Zwift Community Live is what things are all about in the Nathan world. And I've been doing the Zwift thing for over 5 years. And so this is a virtual world in which all the people that you will be seeing on screen, we can actually jump down to the pens here real quick to give you an idea. All of the people that are in this event that you can see right here are actual real people powering these avatars. You'll see on the right-hand side in just a minute here, friends nearby that are all riding. People that are in this ride are powering these avatars with real power from their legs, from a trainer, from their own bike at home, riding around a world that Zwift has made that's actually a replication of roads in France that was based off of the Tour de France virtual world that they created in order to have a virtual Tour de France this year. So pretty awesome. Really cool that we can do this now as everybody's isolating, with our current times right now. So that's what's up with Zwift. And we got 52 seconds to start here, Dave.
Hey, right on, Nathan. Well, one of the great things about this ride in real life, and we're going to try to recreate it virtually, is the yellow rose that waits for all of our cancer survivors at the finish. So, Nathan, don't let me talk over the countdown for the last few seconds. People are really excited for the launch here. I'm going to use Scott Joy as an example, though, of a survivor that his icon or avatar is on screen in a moment here. One of many cancer survivors that I'm looking forward to shouting out here today. So, Nathan, I'm going to throw it back to you. Let's take a look at that pen and watch our riders as we get ready to launch into orbit. The 24th edition of the Livestrong Virtual Challenge. This live broadcast is now ready. If you're out there, help me count them down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Andiamo. There they go. So you can see we've got, I heard it's almost 300, maybe over 300. Look at this swarm of folks heading out. Nathan, all right. Thanks for everything over there. Looks like we've got everybody safely out on our virtual ride today. There they go. So Nathan, there's no set distance, is there? People can ride at their own speed, find a good group. You can actually stop, get off the bike, and take a short break if you need to or want to. But I'm going to guess that we've got some heavy hitters out there with us, too. One of the things I've always loved over the 24 years of this ride, Nathan, is a pretty fast front group comes together out there, and it looks like you might have found them right now.
Yeah, they're absolutely flying. It looks like 39 kilometers per hour. And we do have a ride leader out there with a beacon who we will be jumping in with in just a little bit here. As you can see, that yellow beacon taking off down the road at this point. So the rider's definitely fun. We are jumping in with a rider out of Germany, which is kind of cool. The reality of these riders being from all over the world, able to connect in this environment right now. You never know who you're going to be riding with. On the right-hand side of that screen, you can see exactly what country that these riders are coming from, which is always really cool. Also, at the bottom of the screen, you can see the live updates as donations are coming in, which is really awesome to see this, these live right now. We can see as people are supporting, this in conjunction with this live ride that's happening virtually, the challenge that we currently have in order to fight cancer. So pretty awesome here. As we see Margot Ortega coming with the $26, Johnny Wendy Linden, and then Miki Terasawa with 37. So, and then we do see our ride leader there with the beacon, and that is used to kind of keep everybody together that wants to stay together, to give an idea. And also, if that ride leader is given some instructions, you'll be able to see those come across your screen if you're in game. As you can see right there, let's settle down and try to ride as a group. I'll be riding at 2.5 to 3.0.
Perfect. Nathan, I think one of the great things, you're going to wonder, why are some of these donation amounts in things like $26 and $37? That's going to speak to the worldwide effort that we have with this Livestrong Virtual Challenge because of currency. Right? You're going to see $37 might be 30 euro, that kind of thing. So we really appreciate everyone around the world supporting the event here. Nathan, I did want to shout out some of our cancer survivors. And hey, absolutely, you can communicate with us if there's anybody that you'd like to hear their name doing a great job raising money and supporting Livestrong. But I did mention Scott Joy, a survivor, earlier. We've got Dan Schultz out there as well, Patrick Kane, Amy Solo, Cree Considine and Kevin Ridditt all out there, and our friend David Wright as well. So an extra tip of the cap to you, chapeau, as they would say in France, where our world is today. As our cycling event gets underway, we want to take a moment to talk about Livestrong's purpose. Living with cancer isn't easy, but it doesn't have to be so hard, and settling for surviving isn't good enough. That's why this organization is changing how it helps people live with cancer. Livestrong has gathered listeners, collaborators, and practical problem solvers who improve the everyday lives of anyone dealing with cancer. Together, they're finding new solutions to old problems right now so they can fix them for good. Livestrong is dedicated to disruptive, energetic, and breakthrough ideas designed to ensure that every and each cancer patient doesn't just survive, they live strong. The team at Livestrong believes that if you're living with cancer, you deserve more than just hope for a better tomorrow. You deserve a better today. I'd like to talk about some of the work that's being done. Obviously, Livestrong is a worldwide and touches every state in the Union. 25 countries have been served, over 177. So we also wanted to mention 777 cancer survivors. We have a Strava challenge going on this year, and we've had 91,281 folks join, and they've raised over $325,000, and that number goes up, and your support helps a lot. So Nathan, who's producing the show, I believe has found a special guest for us here. We're going to take a little break here from Zwift. We'll be back, but let's go chat with our top fundraiser, John Owens. John is up in Minnesota right now, and there he is, president and CEO of Owens Companies. Hi, John. So, hey, we all have our own personal connections to cancer. I spoke with you earlier before the show, and it touched me. It really did. Would you mind telling everybody about your connection?
Absolutely. Good morning, Dave. This is really cool watching this show. My story is that of my younger brother, Jim, that he passed away 12 years ago in January, but he lived for over 10 years with an inoperable brain tumor, and we give a lot of credit to the foundation for that. It really was such a great support network for Jim.
Thanks. When you first got engaged with Livestrong, I know that you set a lofty goal. You have, well, how would I say it? Overachieved, John. I am so proud of the work that you've done. And I know that Jim, who left us in 2009, would also be incredibly proud to see you keeping your leaning in on this. When did you first get engaged with Livestrong?
So it's been 17 years. I joined Jim. Jim started in 2000 and I did in 2003. And every year we set a goal to raise 30,000, and we pretty much have. Jim did it, and I've tried to continue and to just keep Jim's memory alive.
Nothing touches me more than that kind of story, John. In all honesty, you are my hero when I hear the work that you're doing out there. I understand that you also volunteer for Livestrong. That's so critical. It really is. It's not just raising money, but I mean, obviously your heart is in it. Can you talk to me about the volunteer effort that you've made?
Well, I'm also a Livestrong leader, so I do a lot of different things of real importance. Although weren't able to this year, I participate in One Voice Against Cancer, usually in the spring, where we go and lobby Congress for funding for NIH and CDC and the NCI. But as I always say around here, I'm a volunteer in my community, and there's not a week goes by I don't learn of someone being diagnosed. And I reach out to them, I point them to the Livestrong website, to the navigation, to the guidebook that's available. I send them yellow bands and really give them a message of hope and let them know that they don't have to go this alone.
It's funny, John. The next question, I have a feeling I kind of know the answer. My instincts tell me. But as an outstanding fundraiser for this organization, how do you find so much success in giving back to Livestrong?
Well, it starts with Jim. Jim touched a lot of people, and those people have been my supporters all these years, and people still come in because of him. I also work hard to get the message out about what Livestrong is about, because Livestrong is doing amazing work and continuing to evolve and is out there for people living with cancer. So, and I'll have to say, I'm very fortunate to be successful in my business, and my wife has had a successful career, so we've been able to give back as well.
John, thank you so much. Really do appreciate all that you've done, and continued good luck out there.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Dave.
John Owens is a special person. There's no doubt about it. I also wanted to mention Bob DaCosta. Bob, we really appreciate you out there. Bob is another survivor that we have riding with us today. So, Nathan, obviously there is a lot going on out here today as we have our Zwift riders. And there you go, bringing up Bob right now. I also wanted to shout out our friend Luke, who does so much hard work behind the scenes here. So at this point now, we've got our riders well underway out on course. You can see they're moving pretty quick. This group that Nathan is focusing in on, 39 kilometers per hour is the speed. There's so much data here that you can use. And we've got a lot of data on reproduction, as I would wonder if you knew that more than 150,000 people of reproductive age are diagnosed with cancer each year. Think about that. 150,000 people of reproductive age diagnosed with cancer each year. Livestrong Fertility, offered in partnership with EMD Serrano, supports this population by providing reproductive information, resources, medications, and financial support to survivors whose cancer and its treatment presents risks to their fertility. This program helps men and women diagnosed during their reproductive years better understand cancer-related risks to their fertility and access discounted fertility preservation services and free medication. Additionally, Livestrong Fertility provides access to medical professionals with resources to improve patient-provider communications and tools to implement systemic change that can lead to better care. As of early October, Livestrong provided 1,176 clients with fertility services and medications, with a savings impact of over $7.3 million. And that's just in 2020. And you know how 2020 has been an absolutely bananas year. Through a partnership with EMD Serrano, patients have saved over $4 million this year alone, and they're hard at work continuing that. When you look at the overall program, over $65 million in fertility preservation services saved, over 750 fertility clinics in Livestrong's network. There's over 500 healthcare providers that have been trained, and most importantly, actually, 14,000 people have been served. Greg spoke of this in our conversation. I'd love to take a look at that clip.
Young individuals who are diagnosed with cancer oftentimes are not even thinking about what impact is this going to have on me having a family or having children. Whether you're male or female or a young couple, they're not even thinking about that. They're thinking about the immediacy. Well, we want conversations with them to occur about, well, wait a minute, do you want to have children? If so, there's certain things that ought to happen now. We have a very, very unique Livestrong fertility program that has helped more than 14,000 young couple and young people. We've saved them more than $65 million in medical and healthcare related expenses. And more importantly, we've allowed them to have families. I have pictures on my phone up and down of couples who sent me a picture later on and said, we didn't think this was possible, but look, here it is. And here's the picture. I had a young lady who had twins recently. So that's another unique example, though, of where there's a specific problem that we take aim at to kind of fill that void or that gap, if you will, in the spectrum of cancer care.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Greg. There are so many ways that you can support Livestrong, and we encourage you to find ways that are meaningful to you. This really comes down to how you live strong. Become a Livestrong loyal member and join a group of committed monthly donors that create consistent and sustainable support for our vital programs and services. By making a monthly gift at $25 per month or more, you allow us to find critical solutions for cancer survivors and their families. And it has perks. It has perks, folks. You'll receive free access to our Icon series. This series is unbelievably informative with innovation conversations, discounts on Livestrong merchandise, and event registrations. There's even a special welcome gift for you and more. Volunteers are critical to the success of Livestrong and have a tremendous impact on the organization throughout the year. Whether you're interested in supporting an event or office roles or even leading advocacy efforts in your community, there's something for you. Interns also make up an invaluable part of the Livestrong family. To say the least, college students or recent graduates can apply for the program and be paired with a mentor to gain experience in their area of interest. Livestrong has even been able to help keep the internship program running during this virtual era, and that has been awesome. I think it's so important to not only keep our bodies exercised, but our minds as well. And those interns are doing exactly that. Anyone interested should visit livestrong.org/internships to learn more. Livestrong participates in events all over the country and internationally. I'm sure you've been to one. If you haven't, we'll look forward to seeing you out there as soon as possible. No matter if you like to run, cycle, walk, swim, yoga, or even create your own events, we have opportunities for you to participate, to challenge yourself, and support our mission. This is the last event of the year, our Livestrong Virtual Challenge, but you'll see Livestrong at multiple events in 2021. We're looking forward to events like the Austin Marathon, also Chicago and New York City's marathons, RAGBRAI, the Leadville 100 Mountain Bike Challenge, and some international events like Berlin and Dublin. They're world-class marathons, as well as the 25th edition of the Livestrong Challenge. You can visit livestrong.org/events for more information or send an email to events@livestrong.org. I had the chance to sit down with a Livestrong Challenge participant that has done the event for more than 2 decades. Let's hear from Will now. Well, it really is an honor to bring on our next guest here, Will High. Will is joining us from Dripping Springs, Texas, and brings a tremendous amount of passion and experience, and I think you'll really enjoy meeting him. Will, let's just jump right in. I heard your story. Your mom inspired you to start fundraising, a longtime cyclist yourself. Can you talk to me how you made that leap of faith to go from being just someone who obviously none of us like cancer and want to see it around, but actually making an active effort, fundraising? Talk to me about that, please.
Well, for years after my mother had passed away from cancer, and cancer took her at 63, at the age of 63, so she was relatively young. I saw this article in a cycling magazine for Ride for the Roses, and so I thought, that'd be a way for me to focus, the grief from the loss of my mother in a productive way. So when I registered for the ride, would be around 1999. So that's what I'm saying. This is 21 years I've been doing this, and I kind of linked that to when I actually got my first real road bike, and so I did. I rode in that ride. And then continue to do so for the next 21 years up to this year.
It's interesting. Cycling, obviously a passion for yours. Fundraising, what have you learned along the way? It's 21 years of experience now, and I know the folks at Livestrong greatly appreciate your efforts. We really need more people like you, Will. Can you talk to me about the best tips, best practices that you could help pass along to you 21 years ago?
Well, when I first started collecting, I just, put the word out and asked, for support in my efforts to raise funds for cancer patients and, cancer survivors, those fighting cancer, et cetera. And what I started doing after I was into collecting after several years was, I would always wear the cards for the in honor or in memory on my jersey. And so I told my donors one of the things I would do if they wanted me to is I would ride with the name of one of their loved ones or a friend who had either passed or survived, and then I would send those cards out to those folks, or send them out as my donors directed, with a personal note on the back. So I've been doing that for at least 20 years.
I would really say that your consistency of being out here year after year is what really impresses me. I'd like to know that. Last question here. Again, thank you, Will, for your time. No real in real life ride. What are you going to do to make up for that out there during this kind of odd time that we have? Will you still go for a special bike ride? Think about your mom.
I always do. In fact, I have one donor in particular who lives in Australia, and they have a friend who was a professor there whose husband died from cancer. And so they've always asked me to ride in honor of him, and I've been doing that for them 17 straight years, every year, and they've given donations every single year, 17 years straight.
Thank you so much, Will. Keep it up out there.
I will. Thank you for the interview and allowing me to share my story.
Absolutely.
Hi, I'm Heather from Detroit, Michigan. Livestrong means so much to me. The name in itself brings hope and inspiration and reminds me every day to wake up living strong, no matter what I might face. Livestrong is more than an organization. It's a community full of support and understanding, and it's an opportunity to be part of the solution to help fix the everyday cancer problems. As a 3-time cancer survivor, I am proud to support Livestrong, and I'm proud to be part of this community. Thanks for joining us.
Livestrong is about people, not about cancer. It means that working together, we can give everyone affected by cancer a better today. Since my testicular cancer diagnosis in 2003, Livestrong has been my community.
Hi, I'm Dave from Santa Cruz, California. To me, Livestrong means support. From the moment I was diagnosed, Livestrong called me a survivor and welcomed me as part of the cancer community. This gave me the strength to navigate my cancer journey with an attitude of a survivor and the knowledge I could face cancer on my own terms, knowing I was not alone.
I'm John Owens. This is my 17th year supporting the Livestrong Foundation, my 11th year since my brother Jim was with me. But Jim lived for over 10 years with an inoperable brain tumor, and we give much credit to the Livestrong Foundation for that. So I thank the Livestrong Foundation and the entire Livestrong family for what you did for Jim and what you continue to do for so many. Livestrong.
Greetings to my Livestrong family. I'm Stephen Branfman, founder and captain of Team Kermit. With me is the icon of our team. I recorded this as I was about to head out to meet my teammates for Team Kermit's first ride to celebrate Livestrong Virtual Challenge 2020 week. Though we're disappointed that we're not in Austin, having made our 12th trip, our devotion and dedication to supporting the foundation and the critical programs and services that it provides remains impervious. We brought Austin to Boston for bikes and barbecue. All of our teammates ride in honor and in memory of their loved ones who have been or are in the throes of this evil disease. What brings us together as Team Kermit is my son Jared. He passed away in 2005 from brain cancer. He was 23 years old. He woke every day wanting to make the world a better place. Livestrong means hope, support, encouragement, optimism, confidence, sacrifice, and courage. Livestrong means family. See you on the road as we cycle for a cure.
That last video was from a few of Livestrong's dedicated volunteers. And Livestrong owes a tremendous debt of gratitude to all of our amazing volunteers who've been instrumental in helping Livestrong become what it is today. Livestrong volunteers act as community representatives to help Livestrong strengthen its mission, amplify its message, and help the organization achieve its goal of fixing everyday cancer problems today. Livestrong has always been focused on the person, not the disease, and the volunteers meaningfully improve the cancer experience of the cancer patients, survivors, and families they reach out to. Livestrong has particularly dedicated group of volunteers consisting of leaders and champions that have been engaging their local communities around the globe in support of Livestrong since 2007. These individuals increase awareness of our programs, educate others about our services, advocate for person-centered care, and fundraise to support cancer solutions. Livestrong volunteers truly serve as boots on the ground, amplifying Livestrong's message. New applicants can apply in December of 2020. So keep an eye out for updates, and I'd love to see you get involved. Next up, I'd like to introduce Nick DiGiuseppe and Binzi Gonzalvo.
Welcome to the Livestrong Challenge. My name is Nick DiGiuseppe, and I've been a Livestrong leader for 4 years. But my story goes back a lot further. It started in 2004 when my dad was diagnosed with brain cancer. We wanted a way to give back, so we found the Livestrong Foundation, and we donated money at that time. The next few years, I wanted to do even more and continue my dad's legacy. So in 2007, I found the Philly Livestrong Challenge and signed up. That year, I did 45 miles and raised about $900. I continued to do the challenges every year through 2014 and continued on into Austin up to this day. In 2015, my wife was also diagnosed with cancer, follicular lymphoma. Thank the dear Lord, she went through some treatments and is now in remission. At that time, we decided together we wanted to do even more. So we signed up to do OVAC, One Voice Against Cancer, where we went to Washington, D.C. and talked to our senators and congressmen about funding for cancer research and for programs that would help people with cancer. My passion to do this comes from my dad. He always wanted to help others, and I wanted to continue that. Livestrong to me means that we're helping cancer patients now, and what everyday cancer problem can we solve today. 2020 is going to be a little different. We won't be able to go to Austin, but we'll still be here doing the ride virtually. We have a route picked out from my house. We're going to go up the east coast of Pennsylvania to eastern Pennsylvania and back. It's about 100 miles. So no matter what you're doing today, whether you're riding your bike, running, walking, lifting weights, doing yoga, or just cheering for people that are doing it, I want you to remember to have fun and to get out and to live strong. Thank you.
Hello from Tokyo. My name is Binzi Gonzalvo, an American in Japan. I first learned about Livestrong when I was first diagnosed with a blood cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. At that time, I learned the words cancer survivorship, a key term and personal term for me since my son was 1 at the time. I learned that not only regarding the cancer, but dealing with the physical aspects, mental, spiritual, and practical issues were all equally important. And fortunately, after gaining remission, I got involved with the Livestrong Foundation as a Livestrong leader, then senior leader, and now Livestrong champion. I'm grateful for them to empower and inspire those affected by cancer in the Japanese community. During these last few years, examples include supporting the Over Cancer Together Survivorship Empowerment Campaign and Forum. That was also done not only in Japan, but also in Mexico and South Africa. Another major initiative was the 3/11 major earthquake and tsunami, where we supported patient advocate training that was funded by Livestrong and supported by Japan for Livestrong. So with that, being supported by the Livestrong Foundation, I'm truly happy and honored that we can be involved with the Livestrong Virtual Challenge this year. And so a team, Japan for Livestrong team, has participated. And so far we're happy to say we've raised over $5,000, hoping to raise more. Again, they have given to us here in Japan. Cancer knows no borders, and Livestrong knows that, and helping raise awareness and initiatives for not only the US, but other parts of the world. Personally for me, the manifesto's key sentences, knowledge is power, unity is strength, attitude is everything, has helped me throughout my journey as a cancer survivor. Again, actually this March, I was relapsed and the cancer had come back and had to make a difficult decision, especially during COVID, to undergo chemotherapy. Fortunately, just a few weeks ago, I gained complete remission again. But again, through that whole process, knowledge is power, making an informed decision, getting a second opinion or even third opinion. Unity is strength, really getting the support from many that we are not alone in this fight, especially during this COVID. And then attitude is everything. The difficult part, of course, is the physical side effects, but so much, even with the COVID, the mental aspect, and so getting that support. So with Livestrong empowering, inspiring me and so many around the world, Japan for Livestrong and myself are happy and honored to be part of the Livestrong Virtual Challenge. And so with that, I received this a couple years ago for the 20th anniversary of Livestrong Foundation as a symbol of the world, Livestrong worldwide.
ICON, Livestrong's series of innovation conversations, is held across the U.S. in partnership with EMD Serrano and is designed to create new cancer solutions. ICONs are designed as conversations where rules go out the windows and all ideas are in play. We're looking for answers, ones which are actionable in the short term to change people's lives. We've had sessions so far focusing on problems like keeping relationships together when a child is diagnosed with cancer, how to deepen connections within underserved and at-risk communities to improve cancer care, and how to build an accessible financial support network for patients and their families. In fact, we just had our first ICON Summit this past Friday, a day full of inspiration and problem solving. Here's a look into our ICON series.
If we could do anything, and we can, anything, the thing you wish people would just start doing, this is the time to throw that idea out there.
How can we expand outside and take the wildest idea and think that might be it?
What are the unmet patient needs? Let's address them together with the patients.
I think the real thing that we have to do is make sure that the world and the communities understand the impact that cancer has.
This is the greatest opportunity for human behavior change we've had in decades. We're not just trying to incrementally improve, we're trying to think of things that could 10x the awareness of cancer and how we could do these things.
So I think that the gap is really coming from something that is hard to understand if you're actually not African American. That you can observe from the outside, but you cannot see them from the inside.
Thinking positively for the future of the COVID-19 experience is going to make us even better and bigger organization, and we're going to be able to really impact the lives of kids with cancer in a much more significant way moving forward.
That's one of the things that we constantly struggle with, is how in all the different permutations can we help people connect with others like them.
So now is the time for us to come together in unity
to solve this problem and to begin to close the disparities gap.
What can I do to get involved? And I think right now there needs to be an awareness to that, and the stories need to be told in a compelling way that will move people to act.
An image that I would like to put in your head is that wall. The wall that cancer patients hit, when there are no options. It doesn't have to be that way.
Hi there. My name's Victoria Threadgold and I am the Director of Grants Management at Livestrong. I oversee the Livestrong Solution Grants Programme that recognises and funds organisations who are doing cutting-edge, inventive and sustainable solutions to overlooked cancer problems. So in 2019, we surveyed and listened to thousands of cancer survivors, health professionals and advocates to discover what are the key areas and gaps in cancer care right now. And out of that research, we determined 4 key focus areas and funding priorities for our Solution Grants Programme. These are post-treatment care, patient and caregiver education, streamlining systems in care, and comprehensive quality of life services. So in 2020, the beginning of the year, our inaugural funding cycle was astounding. We received over 230 applications from 36 different states, and they requested about $14.4 million. So after a series of, it was a multi-stage application and review series, we shortlisted and ended up funding 8 organizations, and we awarded almost $600,000 in grant funding. And these partner organizations serve the whole cancer community, including pediatric and adult cancer patients, survivors, their families, and healthcare professionals. We are underway with our 2021 cycle. Applications have just closed. We're really looking forward to seeing what projects are out there. We are busy reviewing all of those applications, and we will shortlist and make an announcement for 2021 grant partners in January of next year. So please stay tuned, and we're so thankful for all the support, all the donations that make these Livestrong Solution Grants possible. Thanks a lot. Bye.
I just heard from my colleague Nathan that Victoria is absolutely flying out there. That's awesome. Hey, I also wanted to really thank our friends at EMD Serono for all their help finding new cancer solutions. They've been absolutely awesome. So there's Victoria out there looking very, very strong today. It was great hearing from Victoria, who is our ride leader in Zwift today. Ride on, Victoria, as we say. There's always a big blue thumb that you'll see that means a lot to us out there on Zwift. The Livestrong Solution Grants Program recognizes and funds organizations who are developing cutting-edge, inventive, and sustainable solutions to overlooked cancer problems. We recently closed the application period for our next cycle, no pun intended, of grantees for the following grants. Livestrong Acceleration Grants, they've got award amounts between $5,000 and $20,000. The Livestrong Transformation Grants, they're multi-year grants with award amounts between $25,000 and $100,000. And our Livestrong Racial Equity Subgrant, $50,000 in funding dedicated to finding lasting solutions that fill gaps and improve the cancer experience for Black Americans. The next opportunity to apply for these grants will be open in September 2021. Let's go ahead and take a look at our Solutions Grant video.
Our team has been working on a way to deliver our in-person programming through virtual means. Thanks to Livestrong, we are excited to announce that this fall, we will be launching our very first ever round of virtual classes in 7 cities nationwide. What that means is that students will be able to join from the comfort of their own living room or hospital bed without skipping a beat. And thank you to Livestrong for making our virtual program a possibility.
With support from Livestrong, we are able to offer not only our 6-week stand-up comedy and comedic storytelling workshop, but also launch a new drop-in comedy writing class that meets twice a month. Our cancer survivor participants are enjoying the opportunity to connect with others and have an excuse to find the humor in the turmoil of their lives right now. We are immensely grateful to Livestrong for their support of this transformative program. Thank you so much.
Big Love strives to meet the physical, emotional, and financial needs of our families every week through our weekly wish list program. Thank you, Livestrong, for giving our cancer kids a voice, for giving our solution a platform, and for helping us impact the childhood cancer community in a huge way. This year, Big Love will reach over 100,000 kids and families. We are so very grateful to Livestrong and its donors and friends who make this work possible. Thank you for helping us lighten the load for families in the fights of their lives.
Wonders and Worries has been linked with Livestrong since 2001, when Livestrong provided us with the initial grant that launched our organization and allowed us to begin developing our evidence-based curriculum and begin servicing the Austin community. It's only fitting that as we approach our 20th anniversary, Livestrong would once again play an instrumental role in helping us move to the next level. The $100,000 award has a profound impact not only on our organization, but also parents that are impacted every day by a cancer diagnosis across the country and their families. In short, the Livestrong grant impact is immediate, it scales, and is a gift that definitely keeps on giving. Thank you on behalf of all of us at Wonders and Worries for the impact you are making on our organization and on our ability to serve the communities we all care so much about.
Our Livestrong grant is helping us treat what is a truly underserved population in cancer treatment: the providers themselves. Vital Hearts has led the secondary trauma and resiliency training 131 times, and over 2,800 different care providers have now attended. We believe the Livestrong Foundation is in a position, perhaps more than any other cancer-focused foundation, to serve cancer survivors and sufferers in this unique way. We're grateful to be recipients of this grant and to be part of this continued mission.
HopeCam is a nonprofit that helps connect kids with cancer to their friends at school while they're going through treatment. It costs nothing for the families or the schools. HopeCam pays for the tablets, the laptop computers, cameras, and the internet connection, all for free. We also provide critical internet to families that can't afford it. Over 70% of the children that HopeCam support attend Title I schools. Every day counts, so these children are no longer isolated from the people that mean the most to them. So I just want to say thank you so much to Livestrong for their support in allowing us to help more children all across the country fight this terrible suffering of isolation and loneliness. Thank you.
Because of Livestrong, we are able to love strong, and for that, we are truly grateful.
Donations to Livestrong make a difference in the lives of people affected by cancer. 83 cents of every dollar goes directly to our free services for cancer survivors and their loved ones. As a nonprofit that relies on donations, Livestrong is always grateful for its generous donors, volunteers, and supporters, as well as sponsors. To help Livestrong continue leading the way in patient-centered cancer support, one of their sponsors, Athletic Brewing Co., the exclusive non-alcoholic beer sponsor of the Livestrong Challenge, has generously offered a $5,000 flash match. That means all donations made by the Livestrong Challenge will be matched dollar for dollar until the match runs out or until midnight tonight, whichever happens first. So get on it. And thank you, Athletic Brewing Company. This is outstanding. Donations like this one fuel Livestrong's mission, a mission that I learned was very personal to their CEO, Greg Lee. Let's hear more about Greg's personal story and how Livestrong continues to make an impact. Burden of survivorship, Greg. It's something that we talk about a lot, and you see it in play in real life. You're a survivor yourself, actually. When you look at this, being a survivor is something that will always be with you. How much did that impact your decision of wanting to get involved with Livestrong?
Quite frankly, it was everything. It was an opportunity to support other cancer patients. I was diagnosed the fall semester of my sophomore year at the University of Texas. I was playing golf. I was trying to make A's to get into law school. And totally out of left field was diagnosed. And at that time, you've got to go back. We're going back more than 40 years ago now. You didn't talk about cancer. Cancer was not something that people talked about. You just kind of dealt with it. And you went through your treatment and you went through your process. You didn't share. You didn't talk about. I know personally, I was afraid about losing my opportunity to play golf, which was a personal passion of mine. And fast forward, I went through treatments, was fortunately able to have to get through that. But literally more than 40 years later, literally 3 years ago, I had a re-diagnosis. And I had tests done every year. And I kept getting calls back from the doctor saying, hey, test results are clear. You're good. Let's just schedule another time, a year or 18 months out to kind of go through another round of tests. Back 3 years ago, I got a call that was different. It was a message left on my voicemail. It says, Greg, just let me know. We got test results back. Call me so we can visit. I knew then that something was up. And I was fortunate that I was able to catch it early because I was going back for routine tests. And like I've told others, the cancer is not going to kill me. And there's not a better person on the planet right now to have to deal with that than me, because I know who to call. I know what to happen. I know what it's like. I'd rather it be me than you. And I'm okay with that. The part that I want to make sure of is that people have access to the resources and to the help so that their anxiety and their fears can be addressed. I was scared to death as a 20-year-old sophomore in college with hearing that news. And I just don't want anybody to feel that anxiety and stress. I want them to know they have a shoulder to lean on that is going to be there when they hear those horrible words.
For 24 years, we've been helping people navigate the cancer journey, and we are excited to continue to give patients, survivors, and caregivers the information and help they need when they need it. We know people need the chaos to stop, and it does when they go to our new enhanced navigation site, Help Starts Here. We launched that just this week. There you'll find resources either through a guided search, visit our Livestrong library, and find links and descriptions to hundreds of verified sources for support. More than 250,000 people have been served. Millions have been connected to valuable cancer resources, and over $25 million has been saved for clients. Another way that Livestrong broadens the impact of their mission is through the Livestrong Cancer Institutes. The Livestrong Foundation has made a $50 million commitment to create and support the Livestrong Cancer Institutes of the Dell Medical School at the University of Texas at Austin. The Livestrong Cancer Institutes has a simple yet powerful mission: to reinvent the way cancer patients and survivors are cared for and supported. The Livestrong Cancer Institutes are rethinking the full range of cancer care, from prevention to diagnosis, treatment, and survivorship, all with a focus on the patient's needs, values, and preferences. Decades of research and working one-on-one with cancer survivors and their families has given Livestrong an informed understanding of some of the largest challenges cancer patients face: chronic pain, loss of fertility, emotional distress, family instability, career impact, and long-term financial hardships. Livestrong brought this knowledge and research to the Livestrong Cancer Institutes. The LCI identifies and fills gaps in cancer diagnosis and treatment to establish universal standards and resources for patients and survivors. Identifies and serves cancer needs, especially among communities lacking access to care and support. Engages the voices of people affected by cancer in the design and deployment of cancer care, education, and research. Develops best practices in cancer care and care delivery using a multidisciplinary, team based focus for each patient. This year alone, the Institutes has had more than 2,500 patient appointments and helped patients in 35 cancer subspecialty areas. Let's watch a clip and find out more.
The wonderful thing about the way we treat cancer today is that no longer is cancer a death sentence. So it has become more of a chronic disease in some ways.
And so that really requires a new model. It's not a model of day-to-day life and death decisions made about treatment. It's really a model of how to get the patient to re-engage back into their life.
We have developed and launched a new model of cancer care, which we call CALM, Cancer Life Reimagined.
What we're doing with CALM is taking the very best of what we've learned about how to support patients with cancer and their families and pulling it all into one space.
I like to think of it as a flipped model. So instead of me, the oncologist, seeing the patient in a central clinic and then referring them out all over the place for social services or other things, in fact, it's the other way.
The providers are a team, and they come together and they sort of wrap around the patients. And that means that the patients don't have to go running all over town or even outside of town to get the care and support that they need.
We start with our SWAT team, is what we call it, a group of people who get to know that person as an individual and find out what are their personal goals and understanding what's important to them.
We've built that as patients and families sort of cancer medical home. And then we plug subspecialists into that model.
We have multidisciplinary teams that actually are putting together ideas to make the best treatment recommendations.
We're all in what we call the bullpen. We're all sitting together and communicating in real time about things.
The hierarchy is gone, and that's a good thing because we're all experts in our field.
We're asking questions of each other and trying to pull the best parts out of each other.
Once we've come to that consensus, then we want to be able to go upstairs and give that information to the person and to their family and give that individual the opportunity to speak with any of the specialists that are there.
And then we lay alongside that doctors who are specifically trained in taking care of people with illness and managing their symptoms in the most expert way possible. And we lay alongside that social workers and psychologists and physical therapists and dietitians and all of the other cadre of people that this patient might need in their cancer journey.
Here, when you enter the threshold for your medical care, those services are present.
We've been open since late December 2018, and the CALM model is up and running, and we're really excited to be incubating it and seeing it start to take shape.
If I had to describe the CALM concept in one word, I would use the word inclusive.
Supportive.
Empathetic.
Caring.
United.
Compassion.
Commitment. Collaborative.
The CALM model is not just about curing the patient. The CALM model is about human beings. It's about addressing the whole person.
We want people to live longer, and we want them to defeat cancer, but we also want them to live well. And the CALM model says we should aim for both. We're creating a new construct to make it easier to get that comprehensive care and that support that undergirds everything else that needs to be done to make things better for patients.
Livestrong partners with the YMCA of the USA to promote the importance of physical activity after a cancer diagnosis. Livestrong's ongoing dialogue with cancer survivors through its surveys and research led the organization to discover that a top concern among survivors was the difficulty of returning to physical activity after treatment. In response, Livestrong partnered with the YMCA in 2007 to create Livestrong at the YMCA, a 12-week physical activity program designed to get survivors back on their feet. Survivors participate in free or low-cost customized exercise regimens catered to their individual needs from certified fitness instructors. The instructors are trained in cancer survivorship, post-rehabilitation exercise, and supportive cancer care. Survivors and often their families receive a membership at the YMCA for the duration of the program. Through an impact study on the program conducted with researchers from Yale University and Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, Livestrong found that participants experienced significant increases in physical activity, overall quality of life, and fitness performance, as well as decreases in cancer-related fatigue. And that's what it's all about. Today, many of our Livestrong at the Y instructors have taken the class virtual. So no matter where a survivor is, and regardless of how their local Y is operating during COVID, they can still recover after treatment. Over 77,000 people have been served at 631 different YMCA locations in 42 states around the USA. Let's hear from Denise Nugent at the YMCA.
So once someone's joined our Livestrong at the YMCA class and they've started to gain their strength, their flexibility, and their endurance back, that feeling empowers them to go out and maybe strive for a new goal or something different. Who knows what lies ahead of them once the person gains confidence. We've all seen the little light bulb go off in a child's eye, but how amazing to see it happen in an adult's eye, in a cancer survivor's eye, when they have their aha moment and they've realized, wow, I think I can do this. I feel great. And then who knows where that's going to take them. But we need help. We need support from the wider community to help these cancer survivors thrive and journey on in their lives. Thank you so much.
One of the best parts of this year's virtual event is that participants really get to make it their own and participate in a way that is meaningful to them as they support Livestrong. That is definitely the case for one of the teams participating in this year's event, the General's Guard. This team has been riding in the Livestrong Challenge for 15 years, and they were determined to really create their own challenge this year, and more power to them. Let's hear from them now and learn more about their connection to the cause and the outstanding impact they continue to have on Livestrong's mission.
Hello, Livestrong community, and congratulations on the success of this year's Livestrong Challenge. In case you don't already know about us, I'm here to introduce you to the General's Guard cycling team from Dallas. I'm Michael Martin, and I started this crazy crew in 2006. And ever since, we've been raising money for the Livestrong Foundation and their high-impact work for cancer survivors. To date, we've raised over $350,000. This year, since we can't all be together, have a big rally and all that great time together, we made the decision to ride all the way from Dallas to Austin, and we're finishing up right about now as you watch this. Like you, I've got too many cancer stories. It all started with my father, the general, when he was in his cancer fight 15 years ago and lost that. My brother-in-law, and a whole bunch of friends who are dealing with it in their daily lives. So now, let's listen to some of the other members of the Guard and why they do this.
Hey, I'm Daniel Cantor. I've been on the General's Guard for 12 years. Last year I did the ride for my wife who had cancer, and this year I've joined the Livestrong Challenge in memory of my dad who died this March. So we're riding all the way to Austin, and really happy to help out.
Hi, I'm Mark Thompson. This is my 12th year to participate in the Livestrong Challenge with the General's Guard. And the reason I ride is to honor my father, Hugh Thompson, and my father-in-law, Paul Higgins, who both lost their battle to cancer. I urge you to think about your friends and loved ones and join us in this worthwhile cause. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tom Cook. I'm riding in honor of friends and family members who struggled with cancer and who lost that battle, including my father, who passed away less than a year ago. I ride because Livestrong is there for people who are in the fight of their lives.
Hi, I'm Cliff Welch. I joined the General's Guard in 2012, and this will be my 9th consecutive year to ride the Livestrong Challenge. I ride for those friends and family members that I've lost over the years to cancer, as well as those that are still out there fighting it. I'm proud to be a part of the Livestrong family and the General's Guard, doing our small part to support those fighting this disease. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Dave. I'm the new guy in the General's Guard. I'm doing the Livestrong Challenge for the second time. What I love about the Livestrong Challenge is it lets me do two of my favorite things in life: ride bikes with my buddies and raise funds for cancer, which has affected my life in so many ways. Thank you.
I'm Robert Kidd. This is my 15th year to ride the Livestrong Challenge with the General's Guard. I'm very proud of that. This year we're riding from Dallas to Austin, 230 miles plus. And this year I'm doing it in honor of those that are fighting the fight today. Lily, I'm riding it in honor of those that have won the fight over cancer. And I'm also riding it this year in memory of those friends of mine who lost their fathers this last year in their fight with cancer. I want to thank Livestrong for helping those that are in the fight of their lives. Cancer sucks.
Well, that's a little bit about us and why we do what we do in support of Livestrong and cancer survivors. So again, congratulations to everybody getting through this Livestrong Challenge. We hope for your year to be less stressful relative to cancer. And we are the General's Guard, and we are committed, and we ride for and support cancer survivors and the Livestrong Foundation.
What a great story. We certainly wish them a safe ride as they cross their finish line in Austin today. You know, the finish line at the Livestrong Challenge can be both a very emotional and empowering place for participants, but especially cancer survivors and their families. As many of you know, cancer survivors are handed a yellow rose, much like the one I have right here, or exactly like the one I have right here as they cross the finish line at the Livestrong Challenge every year. And you won't find a more emotional place on planet Earth than what is happening right there. Even though we're doing it virtually this year, we will be celebrating and acknowledging their incredible journey as they cross the line. Again, these yellow roses mean more than you can possibly imagine if you haven't been there in person. And we're going to recreate that virtually. While we can't celebrate that tradition in the same way this year, Livestrong found a special way to show their support and appreciation of survivors in the event. This year, participants that registered as a cancer survivor will receive a yellow rose pin as a way of acknowledging they have once again crossed the finish line of the Livestrong Challenge, and we are so proud of them. Congratulations to all cancer survivors participating in the Livestrong Challenge this year. Aside from scheduled events like the Livestrong Challenge, Livestrong offers a unique opportunity for supporters to get involved and fundraise through their own do-it-yourself or community fundraising events. From hosting a bake sale, leading a donation-based yoga class, or organizing a walk or game night, there are countless ways to fundraise for Livestrong in support of those affected by cancer around the world. Each community fundraiser has the opportunity to host these events in a way that is most meaningful to them. And we have plenty of resources available to help get you started. Let's hear from a few of these fundraisers now.
Hi, I'm Mariah Moore in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Congratulations on your participation in this virtual reality ride, the last event of this Livestrong Virtual Challenge Week in 2020. It's a bummer that we can't be together in Austin celebrating, but pretty cool that we can connect virtually as we do in all things COVID 2020. I'm excited to tell you about my connection with the Livestrong Foundation. It really began in 2009 when I ran the New York City Marathon with Team Livestrong in honor of my college field hockey coach who had battled breast cancer. Being a part of this team and this support system was just the inspiration that I needed to get through those 26.2 miles. Unfortunately, the following year, my dad was diagnosed with a glioblastoma brain tumor. I knew I wanted to be a part of Team Livestrong again. So my future husband and I joined the team and we ran for our parents. He too had lost his mother to cancer. And we once again found that same inspiration that carried us through those 26.2 miles.
Hi, I'm Brooke Fox. I'm excited to join you on your virtual ride for the Livestrong Challenge 2020. I'm with you in spirit here in Virginia Beach. My experience with Livestrong began in 2017. I had just been diagnosed with colorectal cancer when a friend of mine from high school told me about Livestrong at the YMCA. When I called our local Y, it just so happened that the branch's very first Livestrong at the Y class was starting the same week that I was to begin chemotherapy and radiation, and they had one spot left. My goal with Livestrong at the Y was to be able to complete the Shamrock 8K in Virginia Beach that March, and I did. It was a great experience, and I'm so grateful for the Livestrong at the Y program for helping me to stay strong throughout chemotherapy and radiation, and for boosting my confidence when I went into surgery later in April that year. On the day that I ran the Shamrock 8K, I was surrounded by my family, friends, co-workers, and the amazing Greg Lee. My partner in crime, Mariah Moore, made t-shirts for Livestrong's Team Fox. And it was an incredible thing to be surrounded by the love of my family, my friends, my coworkers, and to feel so much joy on that day. One of the silver linings of a cancer diagnosis is that the good days are truly joyful days. This was one of the best days of my life.
Livestrong Hampton Roads has provided a really great way for us to connect the foundation with our community. A few years ago, a few of us were sitting at breakfast one day at school at Norfolk Academy, and we were talking about how we could inspire our friends who are battling cancer, breast cancer, and colon cancer as they went through their treatments. So the Triple B was born: boobs, butts, and bruise. That's right, we were honoring our friends battling breast and colon cancer, and we did it at a brewery. And it proved to be the perfect way to celebrate life and to celebrate friendship. And we know it will be an event for years to come.
In October of 2017, Greg asked me to tell my story on the Ride for the Roses weekend. I gave my speech exactly 10 months to the day of my diagnosis. It was pretty surreal. The roller coaster of emotions that a cancer diagnosis brings can weaken both survivors and their caregivers. But my story was different because I had the support not only of family and friends, but of the Livestrong Foundation. My hope is that every cancer survivor and their family has access to this kind of support. Nobody should have to battle this horrendous disease alone. I believe so strongly in Livestrong's mission that I started a Livestrong Club at the school where I teach in Norfolk, Virginia. Our club has grown to over 100 middle and high school students, and we learn about cancer through the Livestrong at School curriculum. We raise funds and awareness for Camp Kesem and Livestrong, and it's truly inspiring to see the enthusiasm that these teenagers have for this club. In my 26 years of teaching, starting this club has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life.
This year, 2020, marks the 10th since my dad battled his cancer and unfortunately lost his battle. I set out to honor those 10 years by running 10 races of varying lengths, hopefully in 10 different cities. I started in February in Austin with the half marathon. It was awesome. I had the best time. It was the best way to kick off this adventure and this challenge for me. Unfortunately, COVID had other plans. I can say I've run many more than 9 races in addition to that first in Austin, but they've all been virtual. It has given me an opportunity to really think about what's important in life, being your best self, taking care of yourself, surrounding yourself with a great support system, being a great support system for others. And the Livestrong Foundation has helped me find that balance and has really helped me complete this challenge. We are one in the fight. Congratulations to you.
I wish you all the best in your ride. Have a great year. Love you all.
Last week, I had the pleasure of visiting with Mark Alton and Wendy Coons down in Florida as they shared their very special ride. Let's take a look. Well, great to be joined by Mark and Wendy with us coming from Florida. I've heard a lot of excited things happening down there as far as your fundraising for Livestrong. Talk to me about the Sharkies ride. Why do I want to be on this ride?
Oh, well, we do Sharkies Ride the Beaches, and it's called Ride the Beaches because you get to spend quite a few of your miles on the Keys, riding right along the beaches and looking at it. The last time we had the event, we had about 1,300 riders, and we raised about $40,000 for cancer charities, including Livestrong.
Perfect. Well, that's exceptional. Talk to me about how it all started, how many people were at the first ride, and the trajectory. I mean, sometimes it doesn't always start with a bang.
No, the first ride, we had about 100 riders, and I think we barely covered our expenses that year and didn't make any kind of a donation. So the next year, we did a little bit better and started raising some money, and it's grown from 100 riders to 1,300 riders.
What do you think the secret to your success was? Why are you seeing that growth?
I think people like to contribute to a cause they know is doing a good thing. You know, cancer has affected almost everybody's life one way or another through your, whether it's not yourself, through your family or your friends. Everybody knows somebody that's affected by cancer. And we put on a pretty good ride here in Florida. The scenery's beautiful. And since it's sponsored by our restaurant, they get to eat really well too.
Oh, that's cool. I'm guessing it starts or finishes or both at the restaurant?
Oh, yes.
Perfect. Well, I know that when I'm in Venice, I'm coming by Sharkies for sure. Are you two doing the ride on your tandem?
No, we are working it.
We don't get to ride. You know what? I've heard it said many times, one of the best feelings in the world is giving back. And that's obviously what we're talking about here with Livestrong as well. How many years have you folks been giving back vis-a-vis the ride? And I have to commend you for not riding. I think that even says more about your commitment here. But you said we're into more than 10 years now.
Yeah, well, 2020 would have been our 18th, but of course we canceled it. And so we've had 16 successful years. I wouldn't count the first one as a successful year.
Well, clearly there's been a lot of hard work, a lot of passion, a lot of commitment. At the end of the day, can you talk about the net result? How much have you been able to donate to Livestrong and other cancer-based charities? What's the tally?
Well, in the years, we have $334,000 is where we're at right now. So, wow. I hope to make it $1 million before we have to quit this because we're going to retire too someday.
Well, great. Right, you're a third of the way there then. So I better let you guys get back to work and start planning Sharkies Ride 2021. We're expecting big things from you guys.
Good. We hope so too.
We hope to deliver.
Well, thank you very much, Mark and Wendy, who, as we noted, doing a ton of work out there and spreading the love around, helping their local community as well as Livestrong is what it's all about. Very cool. Thanks for joining us, you two.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Hey, wanted to remind everyone the Athletic Brewing Company fundraising match is still active. It ends at midnight today, but I would love for your donation to be matched. And a big thank you again to the official non-alcoholic beer of the Livestrong Challenge. I'm sure as a lot of folks finish up their rides out there today, that'll go down nice and smooth. Thank you again, Athletic Brewing Co. So I'm holding up now two very important books. The Livestrong Guidebook, a 2-book set. is a companion for cancer survivors as they navigate the physical and emotional and practical concerns they may have during their cancer journey. The accompanying Livestrong planner and journal allows the user to organize their information and record their individual experiences. And you can only imagine how important this is as you try to bear down. The guidebook provides information and resources to address specific concerns at the time of diagnosis, during treatment, and post treatment that helps patients, loved ones, and caregivers. You will learn about cancer and treatment, find the best health care, find quality resources and support services, learn what questions to ask, make health and life planning decisions, understand insurance and financial issues, keep track of the cancer experience, and most importantly, find hope. In 2017, Livestrong introduced a digital version of the guidebook. As a replica edition of the print version, the digital guidebook provides the same content, but allows users to access the guidebook anytime, anywhere, via an internet-connected computer or tablet device. You can download or order a print copy on our Help Starts Here section of our website. There's 13 years in circulation now for the guidebooks, and they've been refined along the way to the point now where 400,000 plus, actually, guidebooks have been distributed. Once again, we want to give a shout out to the 2020 Livestrong Virtual Challenge sponsors that helped make this event a success. Athletic Brewing Co., as I mentioned, that $5,000 matching grant is still in play right now. They're the exclusive non-alcoholic beer sponsor of the Livestrong Challenge. Want to thank Higginbotham, our friends at First Trust, the Bomarito Group, Pioneer Bank, and the Livestrong Board of Directors, with in-kind support today from Milestorm, Koros, Noon, and Tiny House Coffee Roasted. Aside from the support of our sponsors, we're also grateful for our partnership. Let's hear from one of our partners. This is Probe.
Hey everyone, my name is Allison Schickel. I am CEO and founder of Brobe International, and we are coming to you today from our warehouse on the east side of Austin. And I am so excited to let you know about our partnership with Livestrong. We have teamed up for a 12-month partnership with Livestrong, and we have created specifically a Livestrong bundle that is available on our website, where a portion of the proceeds of this bundle will go back to Livestrong. So I just wanted to briefly explain a little bit about what was inside this bundle. And what Brobe does. So Brobe creates and manufactures post-surgical adaptive wear. And our flagship product, which is the Recovery Brobe, which actually comes in the Livestrong bundle, was originally designed for breast cancer patients, but it's actually been used for many other surgeries, cancer surgeries as well. So what makes this product so unique are the pockets that are built inside of the robe. It holds the post-surgical drains. There's 2 pockets on either side. The bra that comes with the robe, it fastens in the front with Velcro and with snaps, and has pockets built inside the bra to hold ice packs or a prosthetic breast. It also is designed with 3/4 sleeves to make for easy access during chemo or radiation, and the super soft and luxurious fabric is cool to the touch, but it's durable enough to hold the weight of the fluid. The other products that come in the Livestrong bundle is a really simple but very effective tool in post-surgery, and it's our post-surgical drain belt. This is an adjustable elastic band that has 2 pockets on the front that's made out of wicking fabric. It allows the patient to shower independently, and it allows them to hold the post-surgical drains, and the water can flow freely through the pockets, but then dries really quickly so they can continue to wear it underneath their clothes. Also inside the bundle is a Mask Warrior Livestrong mask that comes with every single purchase. And of course, it wouldn't be complete without a yellow bracelet. So you can find us at www.thebrobe.com, and you can follow us on Instagram at TheBrobes. Thank you so much.
When a parent, sibling, family member, or friend is diagnosed with cancer, school-aged children need support. Livestrong has created a curriculum designed to help educators, parents, and caregivers teach children about cancer in a way that is inspiring and empowering. Livestrong at School offers age-appropriate lessons for grades K through 12 to help children understand the cancer journey. Livestrong at School offers this curriculum isn't just for teachers in a traditional classroom. Many parents and caregivers have become teachers as well. You can download the curriculum for your child free right from our website. This has been used by more than 137,000 teachers. Over 4 million students have been served. 100% of educators said students learned something new about the program. And what an impactful program it is. And it's great that it is even more accessible now, since the resources are available online during this virtual era. And speaking of the virtual era, we hope that you've enjoyed the first ever Livestrong Virtual Challenge. We hope to see you again next year in Austin, or virtually from the Livestrong Challenge, or at another event Livestrong participates in throughout the year. It means so much to us that you are a part of this event, and we hope you can feel more inspired by Livestrong's work than ever. We need your support, and we can't do it without you. So I'm hearing that we're going to go ahead and take another look at everybody out there on Watopia. Excuse me, not Watopia. We're in France. This is Caspate that we're looking at. Nathan, you going to jump in with us here? We have one of our survivors out there that we're looking at coming across a finish line there, as we basically are with our virtual broadcast here today.
Yep, it looks like, Dave, thanks a lot. And this has been a lot of fun to produce and hear all the stories, what's hitting me right now is how many people, how many organizations are coming together to make this possible. There was so much content here between all of the different organizations. It's been absolutely amazing. We've been out here riding for an hour and 19 minutes. I saw in game, Victoria was saying that she said something over $300,000 have been raised so far. An amazing effort coming there. You can also see live coming in still the donations that are coming in live. You can still donate. Make sure to check that out. You can use the QR code on screen, or you can text as it's saying at the bottom there. This has been absolutely great, Dave. I've been so encouraged and really loving how many different connections that there are in the Zwift community, the Livestrong community, in the cycling community. It's pretty amazing to see, Dave.
I couldn't agree more, Nathan. Everybody really has leaned in today. And thank you. Great job there. You're right. There was a lot going on. And the message was really, when you look at it, it's so important that people understand what Livestrong is all about. And I think we made that more than clear today. So looks like Victoria did a fantastic job leading the ride out there. So for all of our friends at Livestrong, Zwift Community Live, and Cadence Sports, thank you so much for joining us today. Your energy, enthusiasm, and generosity is helping to transform lives. During these times of uncertainty, please continue to watch out for each other. And please remember, together we will overcome. And together we live strong.